The story of Saint Lucia Filippini.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
I want to tell you the story of a woman who believed that changing the world doesn't always mean standing on a stage or leading an army. Sometimes it means standing in front of a chalkboard. This is the story of Saint Lucia Filippini. Our story begins in Italy in the year 1672. Lucia was born in a small town called Corneto, which is part of modern-day Tarquinia. Her family wasn't wealthy, and by the time she was 7, she had lost both her parents. That kind of loss can break a heart. But Lucia, she didn't become bitter. She became brave. She went to live with her aunt and uncle, and from a young age, she had this deep love for God. While other kids might dream of castles or fame, Lucia dreamed of helping others, especially girls, grow in faith, wisdom, and dignity. Back in those days, most girls didn't go to school. Their futures were often limited to what their families or husbands decided for them. But Lucia believed something radical, that every girl should learn to read, to write, to understand her faith, and to know her worth. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Lucia's love for learning and her kind, focused spirit caught the attention of a cardinal named Marcantonio Barbarigo. He was trying to improve education and the spiritual lives of young people, especially in poorer areas. When he met Lucia, he saw something special in her. She was only in her early 20s, but she was wise beyond her years. So he asked her to help start a school for girls. And not just any school. This would be a place where girls could learn academics, life skills, and most importantly, how deeply loved they are by God. Lucia didn't hesitate. She said yes. She rolled up her sleeves and got to work. Lucia began teaching not just reading and writing, but also weaving, cooking, and caring for others. She taught the girls how to pray, how to listen for God's voice in the quiet, and how to treat every person with kindness. For Lucia, education wasn't just about books. It was about forming the whole person. And people noticed. Her schools began to grow. Other women joined her mission, inspired by her joy and her deep love for God and others. Together, they formed a community of teachers called the Maestre Pie Filippini, which means pious teachers. But don't get the wrong idea. This wasn't easy. Lucia worked through illness, fatigue, and constant travel. She set up school after school, encouraging women along the way to be brave, smart, and holy. Some people doubted her. Others didn't think girls needed education at all. But Lucia didn't stop. She knew what she was called to do. She believed that when you teach a girl, you lift an entire family. And when you lift families, you change the future. By the time Lucia passed away in 1732, she was just 60 years old. But in her lifetime, she had founded dozens of schools and inspired a movement of women educators that still continues today. Years later, the church declared her a saint, not because she sought fame, but because she quietly transformed lives through love, learning, and faith. So, what can we take from the story of Saint Lucia Filippini? Well, maybe you're not a teacher or a nun. Maybe you've never even been to Italy. But Lucia's story isn't just about classrooms or convents. It's about this: that small acts, like teaching someone to read, or listening patiently, or encouraging someone who feels forgotten, those things matter. That love and learning can go hand in hand. That we're never too young or too ordinary to make a difference when we give our hearts fully to God. So, the next time you think, I'm just one person, what can I do? Remember Lucia, a young woman who changed the world not by being loud, but by being faithful. Saint Lucia Filippini, pray for us.